So that was probably cheerier than I really sound, but hey, it doesn't hurt, does it, to start off cheerily? And part of the reason, it still makes me smile in StreamYard where it says, it's showtime. And I feel like I need to do jazz hands when I say that. How bizarre is that? How bizarre, how bizarre. So, lessons from, yes, I know, my calendar is just reminding me I'm due to now start my lessons from a lurker. Yes, I have started already. So go away, reminder. So welcome if you're watching along. I can see a few people here. So do say hi if you're ready to say hi. Carrie, good morning. Carol, good morning. I love the fact that you guys joined from the other side of the pond. And have you got snow over there? I don't know quite where you are. Someone's saying hello, lovely. Now I wonder who that is. It says Facebook user, hello, lovely. It's a phrase I use a lot. So could be Jenny. Jenny uses hello, lovely a lot. Might be Jenny. Anyway, hi all. Yeah, so the last lessons from a lockdown lurker in January. I can't believe we're at the end of January already. It's gone by so fast for me. And I haven't been doing too much lurking this week. And what's interesting is Carrie's saying yes, no, lovely. Good time for some photos. Do you know, people in the UK have had snow, Carrie? None here. And Carol, Darrow Beach, Florida. Yeah, okay. So short sleeves weather for you. How absolutely lovely. I'm a bit of a SAD sufferer, seasonal affective disorder sufferer. And what I wouldn't give right now to get into some sunshine, just to top up my vitamin D levels. I take a vitamin D supplement, but that doesn't compare in any way to feeling the sun warm through to my bones. And that's what I'm missing right now. But it'll be a while before we can do that for sure, for sure, for sure. Anyway, so my lack of lurkiness this week came primarily from, it's Maria. Hello, lovely. Lovely to see you here. My lack of lurkiness this week came primarily from, and I'm not proud of this, came primarily from intolerance. I know you can see me wince when I say that because I'm honestly not proud of my intolerance. But do you know what's so interesting is that intolerance then facilitated or enabled or was the kind of cathartic spark I needed behind a bit of creativity, actually, because it prompted a whole new episode about the challenges of conflating introversion with other things. And my intolerance came because, again, I don't know why I do it. I was in a Facebook group and people were just talking about how they hate people and, how they're antisocial. And it's like, hang on a minute, you're not talking about me as an introvert. I'm neither a misanthrope. I don't hate people. And also, I'm not antisocial. I'm selectively social. I need to make sure that I've got enough energy, my batteries are charged enough in order to see me through whatever socialization I've chosen to do or I need to do. Sometimes I need to for work purposes. I'm not antisocial. So it's prompted an episode this week called and I can't remember the exact title, but it's about the problems with conflating introversion with other things. So typically, Maria's saying, look what Maria's saying, and I can't claim this one as my own, Maria. Somebody said it long before me, but that's definitely what, and Carol's saying the same thing. So everyone's saying yes to selectively social. And I wish I could claim it as my own, but it's not my own. I can't remember who said it first, but that describes me to a T, is that I will pick and choose the things that I I can attend if I have choice. If I don't have choice, if it's for business or for work, then I'll make sure that my batteries are suitably charged for whatever kind of engagement I need. And actually, that's true even of the ones I choose. So I rarely back out once I've committed, because I've already got a whole chain of things in process, in a way, to say, right, if I'm doing that on Saturday, when we used to be able to do things on Saturday night, like go out for dinner with friends, I would make sure that the rest of my Saturday leading up to then would be full of recharging, replenishing things to get me in the right space. And it might even start Friday night if it was a particularly boisterous group or friend that I was meeting, you know, but I would prepare for that in the way that I would for anything else. So, so my intolerance led me to this podcast episode. And then just now, I've just come off from delivering a virtual training to a group of new team leaders. And one of the things we looked at was the brilliant TED talk by Amy Edmondson, talking about the concept of teaming. And I don't know how many of you have come across this concept. I certainly hadn't until a couple of years ago when I started using the video. But I absolutely love the concept. And I think it's something that certainly we as introverted leaders could well utilize to our advantage, actually, because she talks about teamwork. So imagine a football team, you know, be it American or British football, whatever. You know, a football team are a group of players who play together really regularly. So they've got moves worked out, they know who does what, they've got their skills and strengths worked out. And yet not all of the teams that we work in have that degree of regularity. So I happen to be working with people who are brought together to work on a particular thing and then go apart again. And, you know, it can be very fluid. And that's the concept that Amy Edmondson refers to as teaming. And it's kind of teamwork on the fly. So she said, to continue with the kind of football analogy or any sports analogy, teaming is more like a spontaneous kind of pickup game in the park where all of a sudden there's 5 of you, so let's have a kickabout. Completely different to professional level or even amateur but regular sports teams who get together. And I love that concept of teaming. And I think introverted leaders who aren't leading full-time teams, who are always working together, this concept would work really well for them. But then there's a couple of things in there that just light me up every time I hear them, I have to say. The first is the quote, I think it's an Abraham Lincoln quote about, I really don't like that man, I must get to know him better. And I notice that I come to life every time I hear that quote, because how often do we form, and we know how quickly now we form those first impressions, first opinions. How quickly do we form an impression and go, don't really like them, don't really want to work with them, won't work with them, as opposed to, oh, something uncomfortable, awkward about working with that person. Let me find out more about how they work. Let me find out maybe what is it in me that's being triggered that means that I'm uncomfortable. And you know, this whole thing about our shadow selves, in that what we find kind of distasteful or what we don't like about other people is often a reflection of what we don't like about ourselves. Amy Edmondson is the TEDx talk, and it's about teaming. Amy Edmondson. So you'll be able to find her on the TED website. So yeah, there's that lovely concept of kind of finding out if I immediately don't gel with someone, rather than writing them off, staying curious. So curious, and you know my thing for curiosity. Curious is one of the things that is necessary for excellent teaming, is that real sense of curiosity. And so that plays right into my arms straight away. And the other thing that I love is something that she refers to as situational humility. So just because I happen to be, okay, even in here, just because I happen to be the one who who kind of, runs the Introverts Corner group and who hosts the Flourishing Introverts page, it doesn't mean I'm the absolute expert on all of these things. So situational humility, and I wish more leaders had this, is the ability to be open to other ideas, to other ways of looking at things. Not feeling that because I'm the leader, that I have to know everything and be everything and do everything. So that situational humility for me is wonderful. And I'm looking for the other phrase she uses. And professional culture clash. Another great phrase. So how often do we find that we gel with our own like-minded people in our own particular profession, and when it comes to working with somebody else in a different kind of line of work, we seem poles apart? And the professional culture clash is where we each dig our heels in and say, well, I must be right, rather than saying, okay, so let's explore, let's understand. So this curiosity part is so important for this teaming thing. So I started off this by talking about how my intolerance triggered a creative spark for me that led to an episode that will be released on Thursday. And that actually just by using, so Carrie's saying professional what? Professional culture clash. So we're each good and professional in our own rights, but our ways of looking at things mean that we rub up against each other and we clash rather than we're open. So that's that phrase, Carrie. So that my intolerance led to that episode being created, that then led to me, as I shared that video with the team I was working with today, seeing again new things in there that I thought are so valuable for introverted leaders. Because we feel that pressure on ourselves and that all eyes are on us, how great is it to be able to demonstrate that, situational humility and say, I don't have all the answers, so let's hear some of your ideas. And yet we often step away from that. So there's my little rambling, my little rant for today. And I'd rather enjoy if it wasn't always intolerance that triggered my creative spark. But who knows what will happen? Well, I know what will happen for the next episode, but who knows what will happen next time that will stop me lurking. But I love the fact that when I do stop lurking, that when I do work right at the outer edges of my comfort zone, that there's always some learning, there's always some creativity, there's always something wonderful to be had there. So I need to find another expression, the opposite of lurking, but that's not showtime. See you next week.